Games from Fake Tales, a podcast that mixes historical research and tabletop role-playing settings. I'm your host, Timothy Ferguson. This week, the giant legless bird and the cosmic metronome. If you're new to Ars Magica, this episode delves very deeply into enigmatic wisdom, which is the ability of House Cream and the mystics of the Order. For something a little more folkloristic, try any other episode. In Against the Dark, I tried to have House Tremare researching ways to overcome the Palma Magica using massed fire. This doesn't work because the Palma Magica isn't ablative and cannot be made so by research. In the process, I discovered there's a new greater limit of magic, one that's clear not just to players, as a rule, but to player characters. You could only cast one spell every 6 seconds. You can work the edges of this rule, multicasting and using the wizard's fork hedge it a little, setting off a battery of magic items with a single triggering gesture. At its core, though, you only get one spell per round. There is a little wobble in the 6-second rule. Effectively, there are two tracks, the fast cast track and the formulaic track. It's possible to shave seconds off of the 6 by fast casting, but then you still only get one fast cast per 6 seconds until you drop back into the formulaic track and you lose the seconds that you caught before. Effectively, there's a bright line just before the capacity to fast cast resets. You can't research your way past this. There is no breakthrough here. This is different from combat. A round in combat is just an aggregation of attacks and defenses. It's plausible to deal damage multiple times in a round because the round is an out-of-world convention, not an in-setting one. As an example, the creature I was going to write up, which led to this post, is a great beast from House Bajorna, which is a swift of virtue. This was in turn inspired by the first verse of a song called The Ballad of Barry Allen. Please look it up. I'll read it now, but I can't sing. I've got time to think about the beauty of 1,000 variations of the beating of a wing of a hummingbird suspended in the aspic of the world moving slower than molasses as I'm off to catch the girl who is falling off the bridge. A magus who has this problem, which I didn't know the Flash has, it's explicitly why Quicksilver over at Marvel is a jerk to everyone. He finds them exhausting because he thinks so much more quickly than everyone else. A person with this problem can attack dozens of people in a single round, but still can't cast more than one spell. Hummingbirds are an American bird, hence I used a swift instead. They never land, so, mythically speaking, they don't have feet. If you could muck with this, the other realms already would have. Even the Infernal seems caught in the 6-second cycle. There are no demons who use both tracks simultaneously, and if they could, they would. The one exception is the use of magic power in regions. To an observer within a regio, powers work normally, but if you were scrying into the regio, the click rate is alarmingly high. For example, in my personal games, there's a regio where the Tremare have an R&D lab where time dilates. 1 day spent outside is experienced as 1 week inside. If you were scrying in, a magical strobe light, set to ignite each round, would blink faster than once a second. Within the frame, though, the rule holds. You can't break your experienced rhythm. Is there a physical embodiment to this rule? We know that mechanically, the magic of mythic Europe is powered by a metaphorical sea of energy. Within this fluid there are waves. Traditionally, we have acted as if these are caused by a mixture of magical geography, astral influences, and the residual echoes of cataclysms. Might we add to these a steady, metronomic heartbeat, born deep within the earth? In regions, the flow is faster or slower, like fluid through a constricted or wider pipe, but the pulse still exists. This has some mechanical effects. It means Magi have a sense of time that verges on innate, as they can use Intelligo Vim spells at level 1 to feel that click track. It also allows precise clocks, which solves the longitude problem before the European age of discovery even begins. But your saga may vary.